So oftentimes, fearful avoidant attachment styles will start off in a relationship being all in. They're very straightforward. They don't beat around the bush. If they're interested, they'll let you know, they'll want to spend time with you. But then as soon as their attachment to you, their connection, their vulnerability to you starts to get real, that's where they might actually start to run. Now, this is a common occurrence, especially for the fearful avoidant attachment style, because they tend to operate in these more intense extremes. But there are specific things when the fearful avoidance starts to pull away rapidly, and especially when it's all of a sudden, that end up causing them to want to return. And so in today's video, we're going to break down what those things specifically are and whether or not those are a good fit for you to apply to your relationship, assuming that there's a way that you can do this that's healthy and that also takes yourself into consideration. One of the first things is when a fearful avoidant breaks up, they go into a very strong repression of their feelings and emotions. And I generally see it for at least the first 4 weeks. Sometimes as early as 3 weeks, they'll start to kind of like really feel and process their feelings, but they kind of go into a bit of a numbness, like an avoidance, and really distract themselves with creature comforts. So with like, binge watching television or drinking more often or partying or things that are there to sort of act as these distractive mechanisms to just avoid feeling their own feelings and processing what's really there. And after a period of time, when they start to feel like, okay, enough time has passed, they start sort of letting down their own defenses in the relationship to themselves. And that's where they start to really feel their feelings. So something that's really interesting is I often find that people will reach out to an FAX when they regret a decision or want to get back together or miss them. And they'll do it at like 10 days or 2 weeks. And generally, you're not going to get the response that you're looking for at that period of time because the fearful avoidance is still distracting themselves and they're busy focusing on what they can do to stay busy and not really look into processing their emotions. And so that's not a really good time if you're hoping for something to work, to be reaching out to try to reconnect. What is a good strategy is to go 4 weeks of no contact, and to not reach out, to really work on yourself during that period of time as well and try to like process your own feelings, your own emotions, move through what's going on for you. We've got a great course all about how to heal from a breakup that just helps like heal the void that's left behind by past relationships. And then even if you're planning on reconnecting, it will put you in a much more stable space to do so. It gives you steps and strategies and tools to like really reprogram and recondition the mind to feel more stable in your inner sense of self and to be able to process out painful stories or feelings and to get really clear on what you want to do next. And once you're in a more stable space after a month, it's a great time to like, if you still have feelings and you're like, no, I really, really want this to work, do that course, get stable, and then be like, okay, let me see where I'm at. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this idea of like pre-qualifying, and it sounds funny, right? It sounds like it's like a sales thing, but what I really mean by it is what you don't want to do to yourself, which I see people do to themselves all the time when they first join the school and they come in and they share their story, is they want to get back together with somebody and they wait in this gray area for so long. They, consider getting back together and then they try to reach out and then they don't date anyone else and they spend time together and maybe sleep together and then, continue this pattern, but then don't get back together and then stop talking again. And, it can go on and on. You just don't want that. Like, I think that that's like the worst thing for somebody to go through. It really brings up so many feelings. You're in this gray area. You don't even get a chance to like fully have closure and just heal. And you don't get a chance to fully be with the person. The gray area sucks in relationships. It's always good to get out of there as quickly as possible. So what I share with people is to take some time first. Do, like I said, like do the How to Heal from a Breakup course, spend some time working on the inner relationship to self. And then once you're clear and you're sort of recovered, then go 4 weeks of no contact during that period of time that you're doing the course too, is my recommendation for sure. And then after that 4 weeks, reach out, build momentum for a couple weeks. With an FA, if you try to connect too strong, so you come in too hot, you trigger their cold side, you trigger their avoidant side. If you come in too cold, you trigger their anxious side. And if you don't follow up really immediately on their anxious side, when they're anxious, they'll usually just feel rejected, and then shut down again. and they'll go from their anxious side right back to their avoidance side.
If you're somebody who's truly interested in helping others while also securing financial freedom for your future, there is a limited time option to join our 50% off certified relationship coach program. And this is a 12-week program where you can create financial freedom, work from anywhere in the world, and truly make an impact on other individuals' lives by becoming a certified relationship coach in just 12 weeks. Throughout this entire 12 weeks, you will learn all of the tools that you need to discover somebody's attachment style and help them heal and change their attachment style if they are insecurely attached so that they can become secure and build the best relationships of their life. On top of that, you'll learn all about the subconscious mind and how to actually rewire our painful limiting beliefs, our painful behavioral patterns, and help your clients learn their relationship needs, as well as the needs of their loved ones. You'll also learn how to build a thriving coaching practice and set yourself up for long-term success. You'll learn all of the business tips and tools you need to build funnels, leverage marketing strategies, and really thrive in the marketplace. Even if you have absolutely no coaching experience, this certification will give you everything you need starting from scratch to become a thriving relationship coach. You can find more using the link down below.
So you want to go in and you want to be able to stay in that middle ground, build momentum, hang out, sort of like get back into spending time together, being present. And you ideally want to do that for like a month. And then after a month-long period, during that month-long period, you're kind of doing that pre-qualifying that I'm talking about. You're seeing, do we want to talk about what didn't work before and what we would do differently this time around, including the way we address our needs and our boundaries? What are we both going to do, and are we going to take action? So are we both having tough conversations, number one? Number two, are we both willing to take accountability for our part? Do you see the FA, your FA partner, going, yeah, I did make a mistake there and I was afraid, and next time I would want to do X, Y, Z. And you can encourage those conversations and lead by example and start them out first. But do you have somebody who's meeting you halfway to also be accountable? And then is there behavior to follow? Is the person actively trying to break patterns as you're spending time together? And around the 6-week mark of after you've reconnected, that's a great time to be like, hey, let's really sit down and talk about this, get really present and decide, we don't have to be back in a romantic committed relationship today, but are we moving in that direction? And, are we on the same page there? And you're going to get an answer, right? If you've done all those steps properly, you're coming at it from a better space. Then you go in, then at the 4-week or so mark, you start reconnecting. You have a great time together. Then you start addressing these things. You have that dialogue to pre-qualify them around 6 weeks after. And then you're in a place where you did everything right. Either the person gets on board or they don't. If they don't, you can walk away guilt and regret free, and you're out of that gray area anyways. You can start just working on your healing and closure. If they do, and they're like, yeah, I'm ready, and they're showing up and they're doing the work with you, you're not going to just end up back in the same painful scenario where you just broke up again. You're actually going to see momentum grow and build in the relationship and work through things that were not working, so it doesn't lead to a breakup again. Anyways, there's also a course for that. It's called How to Repair Any Relationship. You can check both of those out for free using the link in the description box below. It gives you access to all of our courses, also all of our live weekly webinars. You can actually go into the dashboard and search up Heal from a Breakup or Repair Any Relationship, and you'll see both of those courses come up once you search them. That's it for me today. I hope this makes a whole lot of sense. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.